There's a lot of times people get stuck in a rut. They consider their entire reality the reality in front of them, not the reality that they can actually develop and create over a long term. Sometimes you have to do long term planning to get what you want or need. In life, at least in my life, I've seen lots of people get so upset because life changes. And we all know that nothing stays the same, and people come and go in our lives. We have different interests, and sometimes we reject things and truths that we thought were true, but they weren't true to us anymore. There is also a point, though, that we have to recognize that being flexible and malleable in the sense that we can adjust and have the ability to adapt to our environments or to what we need to do to create the fulfillment of needs and wants is something that is within our grasp. There's some people who get so stuck and they get so fixated on how things are that when things aren't how they are anymore, they get quite a bit upset. Oh, I gotta show you this real quick here. Hold on. This is cool. Look how big this boy is. Wow, that thing's at least 4.5 inches tall. Anyways, I'm gonna get back to my area here for this little chat. So basically I'm just talking about, I've just been seeing this a lot more lately though. YouTubers completely freaking out, especially over a lot more of the different types of things on YouTube's actually doing some censorship here and there, and if those people who have ads on their channels, they're getting all upset because they're not able to put various types of ads on their videos because they're not what you would call advertiser friendly. Whatever. That's I understand that that's very frustrating, but once again, you don't own YouTube, and they allow you to be on their platform. And so I'm thankful to be on YouTube and have the opportunity. It's one of those things that if you control a social platform or social media, I think you would have the right to do whatever you want with it. So it's kind of hard for me to sit here and just kind of hear other people complain about systems and situations that really aren't theirs to control to begin with. And yes, it can be frustrating to have censorship. I'm not for it either. But for whatever reason, for business matters, YouTube has decided to do some of this. And so that's just how it is. If you don't like it, then leave. I don't like it either. I don't think I'm going to leave. But there are some people who are just going fanatical, literally having a lot of emotional issues over it. And so I'd just say, hey, let's all calm down and let's regroup. And that you're not limited just to making videos. For those people who do this full time, I don't know how you actually would do that full time and make enough money, but there are people who actually live off of various revenue sources associated with their YouTube channel. This is no secret or anything, but I think at some point though, there's nothing wrong with doing this full time and making it a career. That's awesome if that's what you want to do. I just don't know why people are so upset. If they found this type of income, even if their income is diminished or reduced dramatically, it's not like you can't do other things. Some people say, well, I don't really know what to do, how to do anything else. Or, I have various issues and it's hard for me to do anything else but to do videos. But I would say, hey, challenge yourself. There's a lot of things in this world that you can do. And so I just wanted to kind of address that. And this goes for everyone to some degree, that sometimes we don't give ourselves enough credit for our ability to be adaptable. I did a video talking about how people overestimate their ability to survive, like in the woods or in the natural environment, to get enough calories and so forth. Well, actually, the opposite is true when you're talking about your ability to thrive as an individual. Yes, people overestimate their abilities and their skills to a large degree, especially when it comes to survival, so forth. But in terms of your ability to actually develop as a person, people underestimate that part, which is so amazing that they actually, limit themselves on their potential, not only as a person, not only in what you can learn, not only in your skills, not only in what you can obtain physically or emotionally or in relationships, but they limit themselves to a large degree because of their preset mind frame, and their way of actually perceiving the world. And so if you want things, you're going to have to actually believe that you can get them and actually have a plan to get them and pursue that on a constant basis. It's almost like an obsession, but a good kind. It's someone who is driven, who is persistent, who has focus. This is something that is completely not talked enough about, and will have to be more part of the channel, because that's the whole part about being resilient in survival. If you're going to overcome something, you're not going to give up. You're going to actually be persistent and continue on even through adversity. Like, for example, I put together sometimes as many as a handful or more videos a day. I do this usually in the morning or later in the afternoon when I'm, not doing other things. But for me, though, I actually have to set some time aside. And because I've gotten so many awesome comments and see that the subscriber base is growing so fast, and because I see that the content is worthy for the most people, and they appreciate it, even though some videos don't get a ton of comments, and I know sometimes my videos don't get a ton of views, some videos have gone viral, some haven't. That's just how life works. Some videos get, a ton of comments. Some of them are not so good. But it's just like in life. Not everyone you meet is going to like you. Not everyone that you meet, you're going to like them. So it's just kind of a push and pull. Recently I had a couple back and forths on someone else's channel, which I normally don't ever go to someone else's channel and make comments that are negative. But when there's people that you look up to and all of a sudden they change, or they just become so extreme that it's not even good for themselves, I sometimes will say something about it. And now that person, I'm not a subscriber to that channel anymore, unfortunately. But this is what happens. Some people have some personal problems. And hopefully I'll never have to do that or show those kind of issues here. Hopefully I'll be a very consistent YouTuber and provide content on a consistent basis that isn't so unbalanced or off kilter that you can't see where I'm coming from. But overall though, we just have to be persistent in our daily life to pursue that balance, and that's really the difficulty, is trying to grow, which is really the definition of living in life, is the whole means of growing as an individual. And while you're growing though, is keeping that balance. Now that's a trivial thing, and very few people have mastered that. And that's just because there's so many outside influences, so many, not just people in your life that can throw you off, but it could be a lot of health reasons. It could be a lot of money issues. It could be just a whole medley of environmental factors that can give you a great amount of resistance and even roadblocks in some cases toward where you want to be and who you want to be in your life. And so, we talked about this a little bit, about that we aren't our job. We aren't the things that we do per se. We are a much larger thing than just that. When we define who we are, we encompass a lot more than just some actions and a title that we have from a company. And so we got to remember that we're not those people who do YouTube for full time, or even a person who works another type of job, that they do that full time and they really consider that a large part of their life. That isn't who they are. And when you internalize that and go, okay, I'm so much more than just that, then you see that you have so much more value and so much more worth, that you're going to actually look at yourself in a much more capable and expansive way. And when you do that, your self-esteem goes up, your self-value, how you perceive your value of yourself, and even your capabilities are going to be more recognized, from yourself, and other people are going to see it too, because you're going to be more in tune with it, and you're going to be able to use it more efficiently. So with that, you guys take care. If you have any questions, or if you wanted to talk about anything more specific like this, because I've had a few comments that talked about this issue, and then recently I've seen quite a few YouTubers just start freaking out, and I just thought maybe I'd want to address it, because you may have seen these videos if I've seen them too. So you guys take care.